Over the last couple of years, there's been a growing interest in VTubers and their past lives before they joined an agency and became what we know and see today. Various corners of the internet like Reddit and 4chan proactively keep tabs on some VTubers and document anything that might have occurred before they had their big break. This leads into a VTuber called Apricot Froot, who's been the center focus more recently as their past has been increasingly brought up, especially over the last few years. Froot recently posted a big document the other day providing more insight into what actually went on back then before she became the Froot that we've come to know today. I'll go through and give my thoughts as we go along. There's been various posts about a lot of what's gone on, but the main thing I think that triggered her response was a video being uploaded by depressed Nusagi called Why People Dislike Apricot Froot. In this video he goes through a lot of the main issues people have against Froot. To briefly summarize, these mainly include scamming, cheating on her husband, and an unfulfilled charity donation alongside the whole Hogwarts Legacy situation with Silvervale. In response to everything surrounding her husband, Froot posted a document detailing some of her husband's abusive behaviors and messages that had been sent to her over on Facebook. It starts with her detailing an incident that happened while she was at the airport and was going to see him. She was assaulted and the husband seems pretty nonchalant and doesn't seem to care at all, even with the police getting involved at the time. Froot then goes on to say that he would use this as an example of how he'd gone the extra mile for her whenever he wanted something from her. She then goes on to show messages that occurred nearly 5 months later where he's using the situation against her, threatening suicide and coming across like a complete psycho saying, "Who got assaulted at said airport because of the unplanned tickets I got you? You. But who is instantly there to give you some sort of help and advice at a moment's notice? That's right, me." This pattern continues to occur throughout the document with the husband threatening suicide and being unhinged pretty much all throughout. I won't go through every instance, but I'll leave a link to Froot's post if you want to go through the document yourselves. She also goes on to show his behavior continuously trying to pressure into things she's constantly said no to, and more examples of him threatening suicide over and over. The response over on Twitter was pretty crazy, with some of them getting 40 to 80,000 likes, while the original post only had 30. They're all bringing up the accusation of cheating and dunking on her for posting her experience with her ex-husband. It does seem like a lot of the comments either didn't read the document or just jumped into dogpile for free engagement. In the document there's 3 instances of her mentioning bodily autonomy, and all 3 refer to instances of him pressuring her into having sex. It seems like some have taken the sentence and ran with it, claiming she admitted to cheating, but that's just not the case. The situation was clearly complicated at the time, and just because she might have cheated doesn't negate her ex-husband being a complete nutjob. Obviously with hindsight, leaving while the husband was out on deployment sounds like it would have been the best choice at the time, but we only have surface level info from what we've been shown here. We'll just have to see what Froot ends up responding to all the cheating allegations with in the meantime. Along with all that, she was only 19. Young adults make mistakes all the time, only most of them have the benefit of it not being blasted over the internet for years to come. Trying to boil this down to an innocent military husband being cheated on while on deployment is just insane. And seeing so many people just echo this with no extra knowledge and not reading the document is also just disappointing as well. Some others have pointed out the VTubers in the replies immediately jumping in to give support, alleging that they themselves have not heard or read about it before. This sounds pretty dumb when you consider that most of these people are friends and have been for several years. I'm certain that this wouldn't have been the first time they'd heard about all this before, and have most likely been told in far more detail from Froot herself. One of these people who poured more fuel onto the fire most recently was Asmongold. He posted a 1-minute clip parroting pretty much everything I've previously mentioned, and the editor then accusing all the VTubers supporting in the replies of having not read the document for themselves. The comments obviously then go on to parrot Asmongold and bang on about feminism, throwing in more accusations without reading any of the document. Alongside all this, after the document was posted, other issues started being brought up as well. One of these was some of her past negative LGBT comments that got archived from a 4chan Discord server that she was in. I'll throw some of these up on screen now, but they're clearly incredibly negative and definitely something that should have been addressed a long time ago. Obviously opinions can change, and Froot seems far more supportive now, even pledging to a trans charity fairly recently. She was clearly wrapped up in a lot of these 4chan communities previously, like some other VTubers, but leaving these kind of comments and history unaddressed just comes across like she's trying to sweep it under the rug. The charity pledge I mentioned earlier also turned into another situation. A while ago, Froot tweeted saying that for every like her tweet got, she would donate $1 to the Mermaids charity for trans kids. People then started replying about how the Mermaids charity was linked to a pedophile group, and Froot then responded saying that if there's a better charity to donate to, she'll just switch to that instead. After that post, there wasn't any confirmation to what charity she actually ended up donating to, so it's just been said that she didn't end up donating at all. Even if she didn't end up donating, it's not the end of the world, since it was a pledge that would have been out of her own pocket and not from her fans. But being transparent about what ended up happening with the donation would have been the right thing to do, since it was a public pledge during the whole Hogwarts Legacy drama. Speaking of Hogwarts Legacy, that leads into the final main issue people have with Froot. Back when Hogwarts Legacy released, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the game. Various members of Vshojo streamed or planned to stream the game anyway, which led to a divide within the community. This divide then led to a lot of hate being spread to various creators, and at the time, Froot made some tweets which people took as her grandstanding on some of the other members of Vshojo. The tweets, alongside the charity pledge, was taken as her taking a stand against some of the other members. After the whole debacle, Silvervale left after not feeling supported by the org and other members, which obviously left a sour taste with a lot of fans. Overall, I think all this has gone way too far, and is only going to continue to do so, since people aren't even reading the document and are just making surface level assumptions based on bad faith quote retweets and memes. There's also people compiling lists of the VTubers to harass just for coming out in support of their friend, which is also completely nuts. Anyway, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the situation down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.